Hi there. Check out my mustard. It's something that I'm experimenting with. I planted it in early autumn to see how it would grow. I've been harvesting some of the leaves to put in a salad, and it's quite spicy really, and I'm hoping it's going to make seed, and which it definitely looks like it's going to seed, which is exactly what I want. But I wonder what will happen when we eventually do get frost. What will happen? Maybe you guys could tell me if it's going to be a complete flop. But the beneficial bugs, the little butterflies, they are really enjoying it. How pretty is that butterfly? Oh, now it's gone. Sweet. Anyway, this video is about celery, and I just wanted to make a quick one on how to harvest it. And you're wondering, where the hell is the celery? I don't see it. All I see is mustard plants. But it's in there. It's buried away in the thick of it. There it is. I'll just shove some more of these plants out of the way. And burying it in here has been an accident that has worked really well. It's kind of blanching it and keeping it sweet for longer. And I thought, you know what? It's in its prime. I'm going to harvest a bunch of this stuff and preserve it for when I want to... Ooh, spider. For when I... it's a little huntsman, which is pretty usual in Australia, to be honest. They do bite. They leave... It's kind of a painful bite, but not overly poisonous, really. That's a huntsman. This one's a huntsman that we have pretty regularly in Australia. They do bite, so don't put your hand near them. Anyway, so you can see how blanched that is getting just from being completely overwhelmed by this mustard plant. So I don't really want to touch that spider. I'll fling him. Get away. I don't know where he's gone, but I don't want it. Oh, there he is. Teddy, don't go near him. There he is. Ah, Teddy. Come on now. Come on now. Don't be silly. We don't need that. Anyway, Teddy's going to have a snack. So we grab this really pale stuff from the inside, just bend it over. You don't need scissors or anything. Bend it over, snap it off from the inside, and look at that. That's glorious. That is really pale and blanched, and the leaves are edible too. They're still sweet enough and not really bitter. I feel like the darker leaves, like these ones, are a little bit bitter and not my thing, but when they're that pale, they're beautiful. So I'm going to pick a whole bunch of them, and I'll look in there. These are all nice and succulent. I got the heebie-jeebies now with that huntsman. I feel like every leaf that is bending over and touching me on the face or something, I feel like it's a huntsman, which is not what we want. So I don't know if you can see really what I'm doing, but if you get in there, it's pretty dark. That's what's blanching them, really. You just bend it and they'll snap off just like that, and just keep doing that. The plant will grow back. The more you pick, the more will grow back. That one's a little bit more sturdy. And picking the ones from the outside of the heart of the plant, that'll help it keep growing. Look at that. Yummos. Yummos. This stuff has been so good. My daughter has come in and been picking it and eating it just randomly, she never likes celery, but because it's getting really Ah, another spider. Oh my god. Because it's getting really blanched by these overhanging mustard plants. They're just staying so sweet. It's beautiful. There are spiders everywhere. I suppose it's a nice home for them. Here's my other one that I've got growing. It's a little bit more greener. You can just see how dark it is on in the interior of the plant, and there's probably spiders in this one too. Yeah. But they can keep living in there. I mean, because the spiders are living in there, it stops any other bugs from eating the celery that we don't really want. The spiders aren't eating the celery, they're eating the bugs that are eating the celery. So it's a win-win. Look how pale it is in there. It's just beautiful. All right, so that's what we got from the second plant. This is the bunch of celery that I harvested from the garden just now, and it's quite a big bundle. It'll take me a little bit to wash it, and I'll take the darker leaves off. I don't want to process them, even though they're good to eat, but I feel like I'd rather just have this sort of stuff, the more blanched celery. It tastes a bit better and isn't quite as bitter. I've got family members that do complain if I try and feed them the darker stuff, even though it's good, but we'll just stick with the blanched stuff. But I'll the stems up here I'll definitely be grabbing to blanch and freeze, but the leaves I'll just rip off. Alrighty, let's get started. Alright, so this is what I've managed to get from all the celery that I harvested. I've kept some leaves that are a bit more tender and sweet, and I've chucked away, I've got a fair bit of waste down here. The chickens can nibble on it, or whatever else wants to nibble on it, or it can go in the compost. That's fine, it'll never go to waste. The next part of the process is to wash them and trim them to size. What I wanted to mention as well was that don't worry if you see slugs or snails or earwigs, which I did see. Don't worry about it, just pick them off, chuck them back outside or whatever. It's just a sign that your vegetables are really healthy, and if you need to cut any bits off that they've chewed on, I've got a couple of bits here and I'm not even worried about it. Once they're washed, they'll be fine to eat. So we've cut up our celery, and now it's time to give it a bit of a wash. Alrighty, so now my water's boiling, well, nearly boiling. While that's boiling, I'll show you around. I've got my wooden spoon ready, my 2 colanders full of washed celery. These have been washed twice now. And I've put a few ice blocks in it's pretty freezing cold water anyway, but I've put a bunch of big sized ice blocks into here to make the water nice and chilled. And I've got my other half of my sink free for straining the blanched celery. So I'll show you the process in a minute. I just wanted to talk about these huge ice cube trays. They're really big oversized ones. I got them from Aldi's middle aisle, and they are so handy for blanching vegetables. So that's my tip for the day. Alrighty, so once this water boils, then we can start blanching. Alrighty, so this is a pretty big pot. Use a big one so you don't have as much splashback. Just be really careful. The steam is super hot, and when it's bubbling and you're splashing around a little bit, you really can burn yourself bad, so just be careful. I'm gonna put a whole bunch in, a whole colander full, and straight away, I don't know if you can see that, straight away it turned a bright green color, a lot more green compared to this fresh stuff, really vibrant, and that's pretty much blanched. Bigger vegetables would take a few more seconds. So we've got our extra pot organized. We've got a bit of a sieve in there, and you know, as I said, be bloody careful with this. No one needs third-degree burns. No one needs that. Strain that off as much as possible, and then put it straight in the chilled water. There we go, that's mainly empty. Straight in the chilled water. There we go. And the water that we saved, we want to use it again. And next time we don't want to save the water, so I'm just going to let it go down the sink. Let's grab this pot and I'll put it back on the hot plate. And the whole process starts again. This water would have cooled down a little bit. So I'm going to put the lid back on and wait till it gets to... So the water's boiled for the second time. Yep, it's it. Lovely. Just use the wooden spoon to shuffle it around. Get rid of any air bubbles. Watch the change of the colour to turn into that vibrant green that we're looking for. Let's move back over to the sink. And this time I'm going to let it drain down the sink. While I'm doing that, because it's really scalding hot water, I'm actually going to put the sink on a little bit cold, because I don't want that really hot water going down the drain all in one shot. I will say that we're on tank water and we're fully loaded with water, so it's not like I'm wasting water by doing this. It's just sort of saving the integrity of the pipes, in my opinion. They're PVC pipes, but and they could withstand the hot water, but you know, let's just do it anyway, just to be nice to the pipes. Strain them off straight into the hot water. Not hot water, the cold water. And then once you feel that they're cold from the ice blocks, we can strain them again, and then you'll see what we do next. So the next stage in processing the celery pieces, we've already blanched them, and now we're going to move on to vacuum sealing them. This is the vacuum sealer that I use. It's a few years older now. I think I've had it minimum 5 years, so I'm sure there's newer models out there. It's done an all right job. I have found though that with the bags that I use, I always double seal the bottoms, because somehow, I don't know, I feel like I get leaks every now and then. Turn it onto the on position, and actually it'll probably, there we go. It's sealing now. When the light goes off, that means it'll be ready for me to seal it again. It just needs that extra heat in these bags just to double seal it, I feel like. It's not ready, that's why it's flashing at me. I'll wait a couple more seconds. And it's sealing that same seal again, just so it's, I suppose, melted well and truly. I have felt that every now and then I'll get a bag that has an air leak in it and it doesn't stay airtight. So that's done now. Now we can open it and you can see what I mean. It's a really good seal. Beautiful. It's only a little bag. It's the last one on the roll that I have. So I'm going to actually use some old ones, and you might think, well, that's really not hygienic. But I've got a bunch of old ones that have already been used. The thing with using these ones again is that you just need to make sure that that there's no rips or tears in them, that the bottom seal's been double sealed already, and that you've washed it thoroughly with hot soapy water and rinsed it out several times, and there's no smell in the bag or whatever, just so it's really hygienic. There's no point in blanching these guys if you're putting them in feral bags. So really make sure that they're sanitized and clean properly. So anyway, with this unit here, I have also found that because these aren't completely drained off, I'm not going to seal them today. I'm actually going to bag them in portions and put them in the freezer, and that'll freeze any moisture, because I have found that if I bag them now as they are a bit too moist and then try and seal them, the water shoots up, it gets sucked out by the unit and it doesn't seal properly. I wonder if that's the case with newer models, or maybe it's just mine, I'm not sure. But other than that, it's a really good food saver model, vacuum sealer. So what I'll do is just freeze them first, and then I'll come back the next day and then vacuum seal them. So while I'm bagging the celery, it's a good time to think about what you're actually going to use this stuff for, and that'll dictate the portion sizes that you're doing. I'm going to be using these for soups and things like that, maybe some stock, but I'm putting about a cup in each bag, and cup of product is the perfect amount for me. I've got a number of bags, which is great. So at this point, as I said, I'm going to put these in the freezer now, just so all the moisture freezes, and then the next day I'm going to vacuum seal it to get them really sealed nicely. It's the next day and it's time to vacuum seal all the frozen celery. All the moisture's frozen, obviously, and now we'll get a really good seal in this unit. I always like to double seal it once again, just because I'm paranoid that I'm going to get an air leak. As you can see, this unit's got a moist setting, but I've tried it several times and it doesn't really work like it should, in my opinion. If there's any form of moisture in the seal, the heat doesn't seem to be good enough to actually seal it properly. So doing it this method, the way I've done it, it seals it proper good. Lovely. So there we have it. We've harvested, we've blanched, and now we've finally vacuum sealed the celery, and this is going to last for 12 months or over. I've eaten this sort of stuff that's been older than 12 months, and it's been perfectly fine. I want to congratulate you on reaching the end of my video. I know it's been a little bit boring at times, but as I make more videos, hopefully my information gets a little bit more useful to you guys. I might make mistakes and learn things myself, but I hope to make more videos. So if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. And I'll see you next time.